Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 3. In the last part we went through the rest, of the Lost World, and now we're here. Hey, you've got another one of those cogs. Put it in the machine and see if anything happens. Well, they're all in. Doesn't seem to have done too much though, does it? What on earth is that racket? Hey, take a look outside, Kongs. You won't believe it. As soon as they make the sound, and here we go. Now that we've gotten all 5 cogs from all 5 levels, Kramatoa's true form is revealed. This shit's been a volcano the entire time. All the levels, if you go back into them, are even dyed red. And now we have access to the true final boss in the Nautilus. As soon as I move up, there we go. So this is a very familiar boss fight, considering a lot of it's going to work the exact same, just with different patterns, as Baron K. Roolenstein did a few parts ago.
What the blazes? So you're the ones responsible for scuttling my secret submarine? This is the last time you'll spoil my plans. Now I'm going to bash you good.
Whoa, big man.
Right, look out, you cheeky monkeys!
Alright, so to start, Baron K. Roolenstein's gonna be in the background, and he's gonna be firing fireballs out of the little pipe there on the mid-right side of the screen. The main way we damage him this phase is waiting for the lightning to stop shooting, and then taking the barrel that spawns somewhere on the left or right side of the screen, and throwing it into the suction hole in the ceiling, which will then plop it down in the background after about a half second or so's worth of time. At that point, he'll take damage, he'll come on over to this side, you can jump over to the top of any of the electrodes on the side and keep throwing barrels at his jetpack until we move on to the next phase from there. The problem with this boss fight is there's no checkpoints, unlike K.A.O.S back at the final boss of the main final world. And because of that, you're here for about a 5-minute boss fight-ish, maybe 3 minutes, no matter what, with no checkpoints, and it's rough to die here. Because I think you only get maybe 1 DK barrel, and it's at the start of the boss, so it's rough. The first major pattern shift only happens at about hit 3 or 4. At this point, now we're dealing with a conveyor belt moving left to right semi-randomly. I think they try to lead you into the nearest electrode, depending which direction you're facing. Either way, it's not too much of a threat because they don't move very fast. The bigger problem here is trying to aim the barrel into the hole while Baron K. Roolenstein's moving and you're moving. And now for the final major addition, towards the end of the fight here. When he is using the electrodes on the higher level to keep you down the ground, the lower ones will now shoot electricity, and you need to use the steel barrel to block them off. In concept, that's pretty easy. It's when we get to the next phase that we start having to deal with that, and conveyor belts, that it can get a little tight, because you can be pushed into the opposite electrode and just have no chance of survival in that rate. The timing here is rough. I've heard apparently you can pause the game while the electricity is being shot out of the one electrode to have some weird stuff happen. I've never done that myself. I don't like this fight, this last phase especially. The hitbox on Baron K. Roolenstein and the steel keg seldom work well together. And yeah, I don't like it. This boss fight's rough. The final boss fight against Captain K. Rool in the last game is definitely a more entertaining fight. And that's the fight. We don't even get a cutscene for beating him. Because technically, we're not done the game yet. If we take a look over with Wrinkly, we might get a better hint, though, what to do.
So you defeated K. Rool, have you? I'm very proud of you. That's very nice. You know, Kongs, since you've been away, I think these birds are beginning to get a little restless. Is there any chance that you could go and find out where they want to go? If you need help exploring, try asking Funky.
So, that's our major hint for what to do now that we're in the true post-game. We need to find all of the banana birds, and the only way we can do that is after you've beaten Kramatoa and you have to have also gotten all of the DK coins in the game, because we found them all at this point in the game. Let's head over to Funky and see what he can cook on up for us. Thankfully, this overworld's very quick to get through. Unbelievable type of a situation! You found all the DK coins! I'm sorry, Kongs, I didn't think you'd actually find them all, so I've got nothing new to show you. Hey, Kongs, just kidding, you know? May I introduce you to my funnest and coolest creation yet, the Funky-Copter. I'll be seeing you later, Kongs! So, the final vehicle in the game is a helicopter that allows you to go anywhere and everywhere within the world. You can go to any of the individual levels, you can go into any of the world maps from this, and it'll just take you right into it, no problem. And at this point, we need to go for everything else, including buying the mirror that we saw at the very start of the game, because now I have more than enough bear coins. Finding every banana bird in the game is a feat of just looking around every world map for the active caves, but also doing every Brothers Bear quest. And thankfully, we've already done a couple of them throughout the game. You just need to visit each one step by step until you find out where you truly need to go. And we get the biggest hint on how to do this stuff up here. Oh, thank goodness. At last somebody has found me. That rotten yellow-belly K. Rool imprisoned me behind this evil barrier, which he sealed with a dark and powerful magic spell. Then he commanded a bunch of his wicked Kremlings to hide the only ones that could split the crystal key. My poor children. Only all of them together have the power to break the spell. Please, Kongs, find all of my children and bring them back to me as soon as you can. In return, I promise to rid this land of K. Rool forever, so keep your eyes peeled and return as soon as you can. After I'm finished with K. Rool, he won't even be able to look at a banana again. Well, given that DK64 is a sequel to this, are we sure about that? So now we need to find the remaining banana birds, and there are 3 you can only access with the Gyrocopter. Thankfully, you don't have to just mash the button until you find them. The moment the Gyrocopter hovers over one of the ones that only it can open, the name of the area appears in the bottom, so you'll know you found one in that case. I think it also does that for the other banana bird locations on the overworld map. Don't quote me on that, because usually by this point I've found all of those anyway. The Gyrocopter, though, is really what you want to wait for in terms of doing the Brothers Bear side quest, because it's generally faster than just using the, what's the name of it? Jet skis to get around the world map, because with it you can even skip into particular worlds at a time. So you could say skip Lake Orangatanga just to get right to Kremwood Forest and things of that general nature. And the last Gyrocopter exclusive banana bird shrine is down here. Thankfully, they're all at somewhat unique landmarks on the overworld map. Again, just finding them on the first run might take you a second. It just makes me wonder in some regards, though, what the rumor mill was for this game back when, because obviously back in the 90s and even into the early 2000s, there were always those, if you go to the Seafoam Islands on Tuesday when it's raining and hold your Game Boy Advance upside down, you can find Peekaboo kind of stuff. This game in particular seems like it would have been prime for that sort of shit. I just collected a flower there, by the way. That spawns after you beat Mechanos for this particular bear. Here, time to go talk to Bramble again. I remember none of their voices. Uh-oh. Well, time to improvise. I'm glad those horrible machines are destroyed. Perhaps my beautiful flowers can start to grow again now. You've got one! A perfect Flapperius patalis pungus. Would you let me have it? I'd be ever so grateful. You are too generous, Kongs. Here, have this Bananas Goldus Flutterus. Banana bird. I've finished studying its abilities. Some of them are quite magical, I'll have you know. So it's at this point I should warn you again. I warned you about this earlier on in the game, but if you're playing the game as well alongside me, whenever you're about to get an item from one of the Brothers Bear, wait for it to enter your inventory on the top left or right of the screen before pressing left or right to leave, because there's some cases where you can accidentally leave before you get the item, and at that point you're just locked out up to 100%. It's a glitch. I think they fixed it in the GBA version, don't quote me on that. My word, how on earth did you find me up here? Well, never mind about that. My name's Blizzard. I've been up here for weeks getting ready for my attempt to conquer K3. It looks like I'm gonna miss my best friend Blue's birthday. Say, could you do me a favor, Kongs? It's no problem. That's great. Could you take him this present for me, please? I'd be ever so grateful. So now we can head back to Cotton Top Cove and give that to Blue. With that said, we're also not done in K3. I forgot to show Blizzard's place off last time we were here anyway, but if you press left again, you get access to this place's Banana Bird Grotto. Again, the further you get into these, the patterns just get longer and longer, and at times more complicated. But they are randomized every time you go into the cave, so you could theoretically probably have one that's like... And I'm not sure if there's some code that prevents it from being something like this. If there is, I'm sorry, I just didn't know about it. You theoretically could have just like YB, 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 and then you're done. Also note, the worlds themselves also get marked if you found every bonus within them. So if you're trying to find out which ones you've missed when you're going through Kramatoa, just look for whichever worlds don't have the exclamation point on them. A present? For me? Oh, thank you, Kongs. You've really made my day. Let's have a look inside. Oh, it's a bowling ball. Well, it's far too heavy for me, I know, but why don't you have it, Kongs? I believe the bowling ball in particular is what can glitch out and prevent you from getting true 100% if you leave just early enough. It's rough. I think I had it happen once, but I was on emulator at the time anyway, so it just loaded a save state. Next up, we need to take that bowling ball over to Bazooka here in Mechanos. You want to use my cannon, young Kongs? No, without some sort of ammo, I'm afraid. What do you got there, Kongs? Heavy ball? Well, you never know. It might just work. Shall we load Big Bessie up and fire her off, sir? Lock and load, sir. All right, let's give it a go. Ready? Aim. No firing? Alright, just gonna wait until we leave then, alright. It's kind of a long countdown, but oh well. This allows us access to Mechanos' grotto. With that said, I should note, every single one of the items we're getting for the Brothers Bear side quests counts as a percentage point, so if you go to the save caves at any point in time throughout doing this, you'll just see your count steadily raise. I think what counts ultimately for percentage is bonus coins, DK coins, banana birds, the items for the banana bird quests, and I'm not sure if levels and bosses do, honestly. I never looked into what the exact percentage weighing this game has in that regard. And if I do, I probably won't until next part. With that said, now we took care of the bowling ball, let's head over to Barter's here.
Gruddy, well, my hands might be a bit dirty, but how do you know you're not lying about my face? Is that a mirror? If it is, could I possibly borrow it? Why, certainly. Thanks for that, Kongs. Oh no, look at the state of me. I'm a wreck! Take this wrench. I don't need it now.
Now that we have the wrench, we can take it on over to one of the bears here in Razor Ridge. I forget if it's the first one or the second one. Is it Bjorn or the other one? Bjorn or Benny? It's Bjorn, I believe, in this case. I do wish, whenever you use the Gyrocopter, that you entered the world map with the Gyrocopter, and then you can just go from level to level without having to worry about walking along the paths. But the only reason I would like that is so I can get to the top right faster. In most cases, like completely avoiding those lifts. I'm afraid that my chairlift is broken. I lent my number 6 wrench to someone and they didn't return it to me. Hey, you found my wrench! Could I have it back? It's yours anyway. Thank you, my top Kongs. You may use my skillet for free from now on. So now, the top level ski lift here in Razor Ridge is active, and while we have to wait for it to get to the top left, that opens up the Banana Bird Grotto for Razor Ridge, which I believe is the last one we haven't found. No, that's a lie. We still haven't found the one in Chaos Core either. Some of these, I believe, you can do without needing to do the full Brothers Bear quest, at least in terms of finding the Banana Bird. Like, I think you can find the one in Chaos Core just by doing what you need to open it up. Because it's one of those that you just get the hint on how to do it from the Brothers Bear quest. So now let's head back to Barter, because now that we've taken care of that, his name becomes more clear.
Hey, Kongs, do you want your mirror back? Well, it is mine. Well, if you want it back, it's gonna cost you. That's right, 10 coins. Beauty doesn't come cheap, you know. Still want it?
Yeah, you swindler!
Well, okay then. I was getting bored out of being so neat and tidy.
I almost say nighty and teat. One of those means something different. Now that we have the mirror, we can take it to the final Brothers Bear over back in Chaos Core and finish off this chain of side quests. Right over here to Baffle. This code is really bugging me. Perhaps I'm looking at this thing the wrong way around. Hey, Kongs, is that a mirror you've got there? If it is, can I have it to solve my problem? No problem. Hey, look at this. It was a riddle written backwards. It says, to open the gate, at the 2 stones make 8. Well, what can you reckon that means? Can you figure this one out, Kongs?
Subtle.
That said, I do like, if you go back into Baffle's place over and over again, you get more and more dialogue that's just him speaking in reverse. What we need to do is at these 2 stones make a figure 8 motion. If you do it in the right direction, this opens up and we get the final Banana Bird Grotto. Once you've done this particular Banana Bird Grotto, if you've been following this as a guide, you should have everything in the game. In order to access the true ending at that point, we just need to go back over to Wrinkly's Save Cave. With that said, I should note, the ending would theoretically fit in this part. We still haven't seen the credits, so the ending and the credits are their own part alone because they're that long. Otherwise, have a great night, take care, and in part 13, we're gonna finish the game off. Little weird, but it's just how the numbers rolled together. I couldn't help it, I'm sorry. See you guys tomorrow, or Monday, whenever this gets uploaded.